So we jump back into the Mystic, I was going to say force, but forest, because...
The Mystic Forest, yeah.
Yeah.
And so soon after having already visited there. So I was cool. It was cool to be like, I know these guys' names, kind of, you know?
Yeah. Shoot, I didn't write them down, so I'll probably be referring to them as their Ranger colors.
I don't think I remember any of them now that I think about it. When I watched it, I was like, that's right. I don't remember. Yeah, anyway.
We watch episodes out of order all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
And once again, our thought process is we're just turning on Power Rangers, and it's the episode that it is. Like,
I mean, I know the basic, like, I feel like, yeah, like you've seen one Power Ranger season, you are equipped to see any other season. Like, you can understand it. But
this episode has the most, like, I feel like, linear stuff.
Oh yeah, they're always like, it seems like they definitely are picking up where something else left off. I mean, like, even right away when it opened, the villain was like, now that I am free, and I'm like, okay, he was freed. That probably happened, and I don't remember that because But yeah,
watching this episode made me think, okay, we watched the first 2 episodes, and then we're 2 kids who, like, for some reason or another, didn't watch the other 11 episodes in between.
Right, we got
just like
something. Yeah.
And then we tuned in. It was episode 14, and my first thought was like, this is a different villain, right?
It is. It seems like it's a different. Well, the villain that they fight is certainly different. I don't remember what the villain looked like in episode 1.
He had
still
like
in what?
Yeah, he was still in the pit thing.
Yeah, he was still in the pit. Yeah.
But he had like a thing on his head that like had steam blowing out.
Oh, you're right. That guy looked awesome. Yeah, you're right. He wasn't in it. Maybe they already defeated that guy.
Yeah,
or 14.
Yeah, so this dude maybe is like a leader, because then he was like talking about the darkness or something, the powerful one, and I was like, oh, is there a leader? Like, is this a ranking system that we're going through right now?
I'll have to watch 3 through 13 and get back to you.
So just the premise of Mystic Force is there's 5 teenagers go into a magical forest, meet a witch.
Yep.
Witch says, yo, pretty
You're
much
wizards.
Pretty much Lord of the Rings happened a while ago. And now evil, evil is afoot. You're now Power Rangers.
And then they get wands, but they're like, wands are lame, so they become cell phones.
Yeah,
which I thought which makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. So start off this episode, bad guy's just like, hey, jester guy, go create some havoc.
Yeah, that guy had a really interesting brand of havoc, because you don't, I mean, I buy that he's formidable and scary, but when he draws the mustaches on those people, they scared themselves to the point that they like fell over a railing and were like holding on it. But I was like, but that guy didn't really do anything. Like, the conflict of most of the episode is these people are hanging on this railing. It's like but then it's like, but they did that to themselves. Like, all this guy did was draw a mustache on them.
Yeah, I like his the look of this villain. He has like,
he's cool with the accordion arms.
Yeah. The accordion arms. There, he can go into our. We'll start now. We had a Power Ranger band. Now we'll have a villain band. I feel like there's way more.
There's probably
villains.
A ton of like there's a drum villain and a guitar villain. It's like, I bet, we got to keep our eyes open.
Yeah. So the jester guy is going around town scaring people, like you mentioned. He goes up to this couple on like a parking garage, and he's like
on the roof.
Yeah. And he like draws on them, and I was like, oh, is he like putting clown makeup on them? Nope.
I thought they were gonna look so ugly. Yeah,
just a normal, very unnoticeable mustache.
Just like a tiny. It's like those mustaches that people would get tattooed on their fingers, like back in 2012. Like a very simple mustache, and they're like, "We're hideous. We're freaks with our glowing red mustaches." And it's like, okay, but don't get hysterical. But then they did, and they were like, what railing?
Yeah.
Anyway.
and they do like a somersault over a railing, but they catch themselves, which is very
Yeah,
impressive.
they were
But
stunt people for sure.
yeah, but they can't pull themselves up for some
No,
reason.
but they hold on for like an hour, so
Mhm.
they're pretty strong. Oh,
My
your
pizza's
pizza's
here.
here. Okay. All right, we'll come back.
It was like the scene in Spider-Man 2 where I was like where Spider-Man delivers the pizza boxes and I'm just the
Yeah,
secretary. I'm like, that's a minute late, not
I,
paying for those.
I'm not paying for these.
Yeah.
Like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Did you know
It's
they
funny
made?
that,
Well, go ahead.
no, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you know they made a toy of Spider-Man on his motorcycle? Like in 2002, when that movie came out, they made a figure of Spider-Man with like the moped that Peter drives,
Mhm.
and it shoots pizzas out of it, like out of the back.
I feel like I did know that vaguely.
It looks cool, but it's funny because it's not a Peter figure; it's like a Spider-Man figure. So it's like, anyway.
Yeah. Uh, uh, anyway, my pizza, I'm just gonna throw this out there. I like the vegetables on the pizza because it makes it like feel fresh, right?
Sure, sure.
So I ordered a vegetarian pizza and then like I ordered it online. And so
Yeah.
you can customize it and then I just put sausage on it. And so I feel like whoever was making it was like, this person ordered a garden pizza with sausage. Like, who are we delivering this to?
It's like, am I vegetarian? No. No, but
Yeah.
having made like 100 pizzas, I can tell you that that's not weird at all. They like garden pizza with one meat, totally understandable. You get more toppings for your money.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. All
You're
right.
welcome.
So back to the episode, and we totally missed it where they're it opens up with the witch training them,
Oh,
and
I
they're
love
doing
with the trust fall.
yeah.
That was so funny. You must trust your partners in the field, like at any time, as being a Power Ranger. So trust fall. It's like Udana. Like I love Udana, especially because like she was a ranger and she looks
Mhm,
super dope when she's like the White Snow Mystic Ranger or whatever she calls herself.
mhm.
But like she trains them like it's a sleepover, which I thought was super funny. Like especially when you think about where their magic stuff bleeds into the real world. It's like, okay, these are teenagers, so you made their wands cell phones. And I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but like the new ranger we meet in this episode has a cell phone too, even though he's like lived in a cave for 100 years or whatever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was like, okay, so they maybe wizards invented trust falls and cell phones. Like I don't know.
True. Yeah. So they do a trust fall, and
Yeah,
then they do the gag where they get distracted by something. I guess there's like a baby dragon that
yeah, they
we
call it like
missed.
baby hothead or something. So
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's a dragon.
So the Rangers were easily distracted, so they went over, and the girl just falls down on the
Was it the
trust
yellow
fall.
ranger? No, it was the blue ranger, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But I thought that was funny. I was like, mystic training,
yeah,
trust
yeah.
fall.
It's not really like Wingardium Leviosa type stuff, but it's helpful, I
Mhm.
guess.
But then they get an alert on their globe that the
Yep.
dark magic has entered the forest, and so the Rangers go check it out. And so they're wandering the forest, and then this guy who looks clearly like a villain,
I know, big
like,
evil teeth.
yeah.
And then like
He's,
like Nina said, like I was like, what? What's going on? And Nina's like, oh, the Rangers attacked them first and attacked this guy first. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but why wouldn't you? Like this guy looks super scary. If I was a Power Ranger, I'd be like, bad guy. Like I'm immediately, so
yeah,
anyway, so they fight this
yeah.
guy, but
He's
he
like, that's the dude for sure. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. But he's
but
he's actually a good guy.
yeah, in air
Well,
quotes.
in air
Yeah.
quotes. But what I wrote down, what I loved about that scene was, sorry, my laptop is hard to position. What I loved about that scene was when they're walking through the forest and they do like the like three like of like the most like tropey
Mm.
lines, like where it's like it's quiet, and then again they goes, and then someone else goes almost too quiet, but then they're like, that's not cliche enough, we got to throw a I've always wanted to say that on there. But then, just when you thought it couldn't get any more cliche, the Pink Ranger had to say, I feels like we're being watched.
Yeah.
Or no, or she says like, the classic like or anyway,
Yeah, it was
I
something
didn't
like it was along
I
those lines.
I'm not even complaining because that kind of stuff happens with Power Rangers all the time. And so it's like I'm totally okay with like a cliched line and some of the other lines that they'll have them say sometimes. But the funniest part about it for me was just hearing like all three back to back. It felt like a computer wrote it,
Also, we were introduced to this dwarf elf guy who was watching them, who's
I think that
also the
we were
guy.
introduced, but he's been in other episodes, I'm
Yeah,
guessing. Yeah,
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 yeah, that's what I
yeah.
mean. Me and you are introduced to them.
Right, right.
But in the intro, he's played by the owner, the manager guy from the CD store in
Is
their
that true?
human.
Really?
Yeah,
It's the same guy? Huh.
yeah.
I thought it was going to be that guy that's always the people in the masks, like from SPD and stuff like that.
Oh, well, that guy's this dude. That guy's Daggeron or whatever.
No, not Doggy Kruger, the other guy. Like, there's a guy in SPD that plays an
Oh,
and
the I know who you're talking about. The
and he's
Orange
in like
Ranger guy.
the Orange Ranger guy, and he's in like every season, and they always put him in makeup. They put him in like a bunch of makeup. So I was
Yeah,
like, oh, that's totally this Goblin guy.
yeah.
So I didn't even realize because the opening credits that it was actually the music store guy. But that
Mhm.
that guy's funny, so I like
Yeah,
both those characters, so I'm not surprised.
yeah. So they do. So they fight this guy, and
Yeah,
then what's the witch's name?
Udana.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
like, oh no, he's a good guy
yeah.
and a
What are you
friend.
doing, Rangers? Like again. I was like, what do you mean? What are they doing? They're fighting an evil looking guy. And she's like, can't you not recognize this hero? Like unmorsed, like, see, I am a blonde man. Yeah.
Lead off with that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How about you don't like hop out from behind a tree and go grr?
Yeah. Not to have like any prejudice towards monster type looking people, but it was not the scenario to be like, what are you guys doing here?
I mean, at first I was like, okay, maybe this is just weird and he's actually a good guy. But then as they had him like doing like more, like he kept doing things where I was like, why is this guy such a jerk?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, they wanted us to know that from the beginning, like pretty much. But
Yeah.
I gave them too much credit. I was like, oh, or no, I guess he is a good guy. Like they had actually had me fooled for like a second. But I was like, oh man, this good guy is really a jerk. But then like, oh wait, no, he's just actually an evil. That's why he looks evil.
Yeah. I like the part
But
though when he was just like, "Oh, who are you? You're the funny assistant or whatever." Like,
no, he says like the bumbling assistant. And so I was like, what? The bumbling assistant? Like I was like, why like that's so rude. And for a second I thought it was gonna be that like Udana confided in him that she sucks. And like, hey, just my apprentice is really bumbling. But instead it was just that like this guy was throwing shade at her. And she's like, I am an apprentice witch, so please don't say
yeah.
that.
I thought he was just calling people out by their like character types. Like, "Oh, you're the
Oh,
bumbling assistant. You're
I,
the
I
smart
see.
aleck. You're the leader."
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, like he just is calling out everyone's like typecasted role or whatever.
Mhm.
But yeah,
No,
once
just being a jerk.
just being a jerk. I mean, like immediately after that, you pretty much know he's a jerk because the crystal ball has that black spot show up. And I can't remember her name, but the apprentice is like, hey, it's a big black spot, just like when we found you in the woods. And it says there's evil nearby. Like, I better get Udana. It's like, yo, like, it's him. Like, like he just insulted you. He's right there. And then, like, when Udana comes back, and it's gone. He's like, I never saw anything. I would have immediately been like, yo, this guy is so like, come on.
Yeah.
But still, I she gave him the benefit of the doubt. They're good guys, so they trust blindly.
Mhm.
But I think that what we missed though is because earlier when they fight the guy and we meet the troll, like you said, the troll is like, oh no, like he's back. Like,
Uh-huh.
oh, nothing happened. And I was like, oh, I bet that's what we didn't see in an earlier episode. Is like he set them free from the cave or something, you know?
Yeah.
But whatever.
But then later, the assistant girl, she doesn't even put two and two together. Like the troll guy has to tell her. They meet up, and she's like, this dude's back, and then the troll's like, oh yeah, that dude, he betrayed the Mystic people, and she's
Yeah, I
like,
know.
I was there, I saw
I was there.
it.
I was there. But like the it's especially lame because when she sees him, he's like, "Oh no, he's back! He's back! Someone, this is bad!" And she's like, "Who's back?" And he's like, "Oh, nothing." And she's like, "Oh, well, coincidentally, I have this guy who's being a real jerk." And then he's like, "Oh, that guy? Yeah, that's actually who I was talking about. He murdered a bunch of cool wizard good guys." Like, like wait, what? Everyone's just talking in circles. Like everyone's just like, oh, is it a secret? Is it not a secret? And anyway,
Yeah. And then there's a subplot where there's a frog
that
who's
was my favorite part of the episode.
who's
The frog,
on the blue Girl Ranger
it pops on her shoulder when they're in the woods and then follows them into the
CD
record
place,
store.
yeah, that they work at.
Yeah, and then they have to chase the frog all around the record stores. It's jumping on the record player, and I thought that was super funny. I liked everything about that.
Me too. I really like that scene.
It felt very classic. Like, oh, I could imagine the Power Rangers doing this in the
Yeah.
juice bar or something. You know.
Yeah. And then the girl was like, "Why don't you like frogs?" And like, because you put one down my like dress as a kid.
Yeah. The Pink Ranger, I was telling Nina, like doesn't feel like a real human. She feels like an alien from Men in Black who's pretending to be a human. Like just like the way that she talks and like and like I was like that was like another like perfect example. It's like, like why you still hate frogs? It's like, yes, you famously traumatized me with frogs. You know? She has other dialogue like that where I think it's just because it's hard for them to hide their accents. So
Mhm.
they pick like really large acting choices, which is like that fits in with Power Rangers. I'm not complaining about it,
Mhm.
but it feels like sometimes like their fate like like it makes me laugh like how like almost like cartoony they can be to try to compensate, I guess, for being like,
Mhm.
oh, we have to sound American. Only Xander can sound like he's from New Zealand.
Yeah. I do I think the Blue Ranger, even though I don't know her name, I don't know any of their names right now. So I
She does a
feel
good job.
yeah, I think she's my favorite in this team. Last
Me
time I
too.
said it was the Yellow Ranger, but I'm going with this one now.
I think that her acting definitely stands out amongst the other Rangers. Like
Yeah.
I bought her even saying like that kind of forced like yes, I've been traumatized since we were children when you put down my dress.
Mhm.
Like that's a clunky kind of exposition-y line, but I was like, oh, but she actually pulled it off, so that shows that she's got some talent there. But
Yeah.
yeah, the frog, it sort of was. It came so late in the episode, but that was really like the plot, in my opinion. Like it's like, okay, we have this betrayal thing with the bad guy, but there's also like another villain we're fighting. And then also when this frog phobia and like frog prince thing comes in, like that's basically like a whole new thing. And that's
Yeah.
when I started actually caring about the episode.
Uh, agreed. And then so the Rangers, let me think if I'm getting this correctly. So the Rangers go back, they end up fighting um Jester guy, right? And
Yes, they save the people that have been hanging for like hours.
yeah, and they figure out a plan because I guess there's another subplot where there's like a logo on the ground they're trying to figure out. And I guess the Jester guy is putting dots around the city to make like a portal, and they
Oh,
stop
because he can
that.
go underground.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
The
And
Pink
then
Ranger figures that out. Yeah.
mhm. Which I like that there was an actual. We kind of just brushing over it because there's a lot of subplots in this episode, but I
Yeah.
liked that the villain had like a plan. Like he was like, I'm gonna put these mystic, symbols around the city, create this big portal, and I
Yeah.
think his plan was to, get more bad guys out. And I was like, that's a good plan, as opposed to just like go cause some terror.
And it definitely felt like his chaos was sort of random at first. So you're right. Like I totally forgot. It is worth mentioning that there is some logic to his plan,
Hmm.
and I think it's probably just like the two plans happening at once. Like there's actually more going on, but it felt very disjointed because
Hmm.
they felt very separate. Other than like in the beginning when they're all getting their orders about like, okay, this is our evil plan or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
So meanwhile, while the jester guy is doing his thing, the other guy who is like gonna be a good guy, the bumbling assistant, lets him know he's a bad guy. He's like, "Yep, I'm a bad guy." They
yeah,
fight for a little bit. They do some magic stuff. He
right. He's
freezes
like, you
them.
can't defeat me without your snow staff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then the assistant thinks she's like, "I got it. I did some spell," and he just like pops up behind her and like uh,
I
gets
know, I
her.
know. Like he disappears fully. I thought she did it. I was like, oh wow, it worked. And then no, I'm back. Like, it's like I guess they're magic, so I can't really complain. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's how it works.
I wasn't expecting that either. I thought like, oh, he would get disappeared and then he'd be gone for the episode. But
Yeah.
uh,
Next time, Power Rangers, but like
yeah,
no, yeah.
yeah, he just shows up behind him, which I thought was kind of creepy.
It was. He's a scary looking guy too. I liked his like mummy mask thing.
Yeah. And then he's reading a book, and so then the Rangers are fighting the Jester guy again. You
Hmm.
know, and the Red Ranger has like a boxing glove. Uh,
Those are his like special weapons. They're like the
yeah.
boxing gloves. Yeah. I was like, I don't know. I guess it's like a wizard thing.
I thought that was kind of cool.
It was cool. It was cool. I mean, I didn't second guess it. I was
Yeah,
like,
me
yeah,
neither.
boxing gloves. Yeah.
No one else has boxing gloves or even uses a special weapon.
No, but they all do have weapons. I think we saw them in the earlier episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't really do it. What happens is like when the Blue Ranger saves the people that are hanging, like I thought she was just gonna. I was like, oh, like does she have like flying powers or something? But I was like, oh wait, but that was the Pink Ranger that had flying powers, right? Because she has like the
Yeah, she's like
butterfly.
wind or something. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Hmm.
Anyway, um,
The
so then she
frog
saves
it
them.
plays in it plays into this.
The frog plays into it too. You're right. Like she gets ambushed, and like I don't remember the Red Ranger's like gonna warn her, like, oh, there's danger. But then the frog somehow saves her life, but it happened really quickly, so I don't really remember like what the
I think
frog
the
did.
frog had like teleportation things, or it popped up on the jester guy and he was distracted, and then it like was teleporting, and then he was trying to get the frog.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. And then she's like, "Oh, this you saved my life." Like,
I'm just gonna kiss
um,
you now.
yeah, 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 I'm gonna kiss you. Like that's what you do with frogs that are chivalrous. But she
Yeah,
unmorphed for that. Did she get hurt, or did she just decide to unmorph?
I don't remember. I don't think she was
It
hurt
doesn't matter.
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she needed to be unmorphed to kiss the frog, essentially.
Well, duh. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I also
But then,
noticed,
yeah.
like, it was a real frog.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they had some CGI parts when it was jumping, but yeah, it was a real frog. She kissed a frog.
And I noticed it too when they were running after it in the CD store. Like they put it on a recording, like a record that was actually moving.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, 1 second. Like, oh, okay, that was not animal endangerment. We're okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But she kisses the frog. That breaks the spell, and then our guy Daggeron shows up, and he's like he's charming. I'm like, is he putting the moves on this Blue Ranger because she just kissed him, or because
Well, he's just like a knight or something type. So
yeah,
he's got like perfect manners. So, but he might have been kind of maybe they have a romantic thing. But yeah, he was really cool immediately when he showed up. I was like, oh, this guy's awesome. Like I know
yeah,
this is gonna be a cool fight.
yeah, and then he like he morphs with the phone, like you mentioned,
Yep.
and then he morphs into the Gold Ranger. I'm calling him the Gold Ranger, but he's like really
They
the
call him the
there you
Solaris.
go. Hmm.
Yeah.
And he has a kitty as like a little like his Saba.
Yeah. Yeah. So earlier in the episode, they have this like genie lamp, like an Aladdin lamp, and I'm like, what's this lamp? It's bouncing around in like Udana's lair, and I'm like, is this going to be important later? Like, what's this lamp? And of course, it is important later. It is his freaking gun. Um,
Yeah.
but that little cat genie's name is Gingy, I think. And I was like, immediately, I was like, there's so much happening at once, but I love everything about this. Like, he summons the lamp. The lamp has Gingy in it, who's a cat, and then it turns into a gun. And then he's like, yeah, I thought that was all really cool. Classic.
Yeah, it seemed like he was like, "Hey, um, nice to see you again. All right, turn into a gun."
Yeah. Well, he's like, okay, we'll catch up later. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, and then after that, they go back to the sanctum, like Doctor Strange. Is that what it's called, the sanctum? Or
The,
that's
the, the Sanctum Sanctorum is what they call is what Doctor Strange calls it. I don't know what it's called in this, but the tree.
he shoots the bad guy. The bad guy's like, "Nah, you're back. We'll meet again." And then that's when the bad guy does his classic
Yeah.
"we'll leave" thing. Um, and then later on, Dagron is explaining to what's her name again?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. What that about a fight that they had, when he turned bad, and they used Sentai footage because it looks really cool with them fighting in the rain and stuff.
It looked so cool. Yeah. Like how he was being twisted and like he was turning evil in front of my own eyes. Like, and like the tree is on fire and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was
Rain
sweet.
is
And it
just
was
like
raining.
pouring on the Silver Ranger's or Gold Ranger's helmet. Like, it just looks cool. Also, his
I
suit is
know.
like metal, like armor, as opposed to the spandex.
It's metal armor all over, yeah, with a cape. And
Mhm.
it's like blue and gold with the red cape. He almost has sort of like a Doctor Strange look, speaking of which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
At least the color scheme is there.
Yeah. He's going to have a cool Lightning Collection figure when that comes out.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they'll make every character that actor played.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They already have, Doggy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
wait. I don't even know how many he's played, but whatever.
I know those are the two main. He might have someone else, but I think it's not maybe as big of
Not too
characters
many.
as those two.
Those are
Yeah.
the two Rangers. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So so this is when it gets to like, hey, she had a kid that he looks like was supposed to protect. And then he's like, I don't know what happened during that
Yeah, like,
fight.
where's my boy? What happened to my boy? Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, he disappeared. Yeah, I didn't know she had a son.
Yeah. And then it goes to the troll guy who could probably just come out and be like, hey, I know where your son is. But instead, he kind of just is like, oh no, I'll probably get in trouble for what I did. And then he
Yeah,
walks
they'll
away.
find out. The Mystic Force Rangers will find out. Just go tell them then. You know they're gonna find out.
So this was intriguing to me because I've never seen this show. But
Hmm.
the Red Ranger's her son, right?
Oh, you think that's what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess
I think that's what it is.
that's a good idea. That's probably what it is. Yeah,
Because it'd be weird if it was some random guy.
I know. Well, they'll meet a baby ranger later.
Yeah.
I also haven't aged because of a cave.
Because it feels like this Red Ranger guy was like going from family to family kind of thing. So I think the troll guy like put him in the real world to hide him.
That's like the plot of Once Upon a Time. So I would not be surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what's happened.
Well, we'll see. We'll just finish Mystic Force for fun.
No, I'm gonna look this up right now.
Fine. Look it up. Look it up.
While I like that up, I think this was a thumbs up episode.
I liked it a lot. I mean, I like the characters in it a lot. So I'm definitely interested in. I think Mystic Force is a cool season. Like, I pretty much would be excited to watch any episode of it, just because at this point there's nothing like it, and I don't know how long it will be until they try magic again as a theme. So magic and fantasy characters, are pretty much exclusive to this season. Like I said last time when we reviewed the pilot, I love the idea of like the morphing grid being able to be utilized by really anyone on Earth, no matter where they are, you know? So it's like, even if you're hidden in like the magical plane, you're still able to tap into it.
I was right. He's the son. He's her son.
He is? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Born in the magic world, but then was separated into the human world. So, boom, called it.
Boom.
But also, like, I mean, I called the kid show with some foreshadowing. So, like,
Yeah. You nailed the twist from the show that had the 3 cliches in a row. The episode that won cliche bingo. Yeah,
yeah.
but
We're posting more videos and things to our YouTube channel. So please go like and subscribe to our YouTube as well. That'd be awesome.
please.
Yeah. Cool. Other than that, it's not less phenomenal. It's more phenomenal.
More phenomenal.